Assalamualaikum. Before we start, can I see please comment, is that my sound is clear or not? Can somebody, participant comment to our chat at YouTube? Okay, Alhamdulillah, clear. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Dear respected speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Soni Zulhuda, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the IIUM community, let us begin our program by reciting Kitab Al-Fatihah. Ameen. I'm delighted to welcome and express gratitude to all of you for joining Integrity Talk number 2 2024, organized by the Integrity and Governance Unit, Management Services Division, IIUM. For all attendees, please note that this talk can be accessed online through Zoom and live streaming on the YouTube channel of IIUM MSG Competency Development. I would like to remind all participants to sign in your attendance and complete the evaluation form within 24 hours after the conclusion of this program. Thank you once again for your participation. It is our privilege to welcome our distinguished guest speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Soni Zulhuda. He is a staff member of Ahmad Ibrahim Kuliah of Law ICOL and served as Deputy Legal Advisor at IIUM. Associate Professor Dr. Soni Zulhuda will be presenting a lecture titled Privacy at the Workplace, Issues and Liabilities. Esteemed guests, please allow me to brief a concise biography of our speaker. Associate Professor Dr. Soni Zulhuda obtained his Bachelor of Law Honours, Master of Comparative Law, and Doctorate in Information Security Law from the International Islamic University Malaysia. He joined the International Islamic University Malaysia, IIUM, as a staff member in 2010. Dr. Soni Zulhuda specializes in cyber law, e-commerce, information governance, information security, and personal data protection, PDP. Associate Professor Dr. Soni has been awarded the Web Science Summer Fellowship at the Oxford Internet Institute, University of Oxford, UK, and the Citizen Lab Summer Institute, CLSI, Fellowship from the University of Toronto, Canada. He has also been an ICANN Fellow on 3 occasions, attending the Singapore, Beijing, and the Hague Fellowship in 2011, 2013, and 2022, respectively. Associate Professor Dr. Soni professional experience has provided him with a unique skill set that integrate law, technology, and governance. He contributed to the Malaysian government's formulation of the National Cybersecurity Policy in 2005-2006 and has been involved in drafting policy on internet regulation and data protection in Indonesia. Associate Professor Dr. Soni has also provided experts consultation to the Malaysian Data Protection Commissioner Office on policies and public awareness programs. Furthermore, he has been appointed by the Malaysian government as a member of the Malaysian Personal Data Protection Appeal Tribunal. With this, I respectfully invite Associate Professor Dr. Soni to deliver his talk. Please give him a warm welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman of the event.
Welcome.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me now set my slide and please let me know if it is on. Okay, can you see that? Right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirrabbil Salatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin. Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'du. First of all, I'd like to thank again the Integrity Unit of the MSD IAUM for having me in this sharing session. The topic cannot be more timely than today, and then where we are being surrounded by lots of technologies, yeah, and to some extent led us to disbelieve whether we still have a room of our own, yeah, because it seems that everything has been so much shared among us that everyone knows about everybody. So where is privacy now? Today we'll be learning about few things. Number one, first we'll talk about the concept of privacy, how it emerged, how it was also talked about in the Western perspective as well as the Islamic perspectives. And then certainly it will lead us to the privacy of today, where we uh, uh, where we have make use of so much technologies in our life and in so many ways, yeah, disrupted, yeah, the way we have done things in the past. Among others, to what extent data had been shared, and in what way and to what extent we actually have lost control to our data. That is so much part of this understanding of the concept of privacy today. Then we will see how the law deals with the privacy from both the statutory perspective as well as the judiciary perspective. And as a case in study, we are looking at how the law evolved in Malaysia. And then last but not least, we look at how this privacy intersects with our public space, and especially talking about workplace, yeah. Whether we still have that privacy at the work, whether you actually left out your privacy at home and coming to work without privacy, or does it still stay with us in the workplace? And what about the digital workplace? Yeah, that is another to ponder. Uh, right to privacy is very universal. So wherever you talk about privacy, people understand it, even though you have different meaning for it, different name of it. You want to call it right to personal matters, right to private affairs. You want to call it right to privacy. You want to call it right to be alone. Yeah. Warren and Brandeis, in one of the earliest literature in Western literature, mentioned that privacy is a right to be left alone. it is it is not exactly telling the whole things about privacy actually, but to some extent it tells us that right to privacy is something about ourselves, something about our personal life. That's why in Arabic it is called al hukuk al khususiyah al khasiyah, al hukuk al khasiyah, or sometimes and it's translated as the right to personal life, right to personal life. And I think as a human, this is something very inherent in our life. We sometimes will want to do things on our own. We just want to sit on our own. We don't want people to get into our life. There is actually the application of the privacy in our life. Sometimes even in public space, you feel and you want to get out from the public and get some solitude. So right to solitude is among others. Yeah, solitude certainly is something about physical. So you want, sometimes you want to be physically alone. You want to be far away from people. You don't want people to get into your life. So this is all many aspects of privacy. That's why home, yeah, home is a very important concept or to privacy. And in fact, in Quran we have a very clear injunctions to the sanctity of the home. Yes, home must be protected. Home must not be intruded. Yeah. In fact, the education of privacy start from home. It start from home, and you will see in Quran it's very clear that we educate our children about privacy. We educate our children when they can enter to the parents' room and when they cannot do that. Yeah, there are specific times for that. So taking all this together, my point here is that concept of privacy is both universal and contextual. Universal because everywhere you go, people will talk the same. Yeah, there is some right that way I want to do things alone. Yeah, even remember the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam before he was he was uh, granted the prophecy before the Risalah. He used to go alone to some places to yeah the mountain to have self reflection. He needs that. Yeah, the Prophet Muhammad, he needs that. He needs that. He needs to reflect, have self reflection to see what's going on, to actually see where I am, where I should go. It's a reflection. So uh, it is universal. Whatever society you have, you actually see people need privacy. Of course, with different level of uh, different level of application, different level of co- um, uh, how things intersect with their unique life. This is how things would be different. That's why different society will see it differently. I give you example in I think in Malay society we have this concept of a big house, big family, right? Big family means all extended families living together in one house and one home and house. To some people, maybe of certain some other cultures, this is not acceptable. You need to have your own privacy in your home. You don't want other families outside your inner family to be with you. But then um, in Malay family, it is different. You see, grandpa living with all the sons and grandsons. It is still quite common, though it is being, I mean, decreasing. Yeah, but if you go to rural places, people still do that. They don't mind. And so, because by doing that, they feel closer and stronger together. But of course, there is a price. There's a price which they don't mind. The price is that they have reduced privacy. Yeah. But having said that, they still maintain some room where they can be together. The inner room. Each of the family has their own room. That is where they. It is not like altogether open. Yeah. So to some extent, it is still there. And in some rural families of us, for example, it is quite common that people uh, would want to know whatever is going on with other people. Yeah. So good news for one meaning good news for others, because the opposite might be the same. You know, so people tend to know what happens with everyone. Uh, Maybe in the past it was not so much of issue, but today with lots of uh, yeah problems in life, then this become a very sensitive source of dispute in future. That you better keep things with yourself and not let people to know. Yeah. So what we can get from this beginning, this initial slide is that yes, privacy is there. You like it or not, you wherever you go, wherever you want to be, you need your privacy sometimes. But to some, this is also contextual. What I mean by contextual means when you have to go and check the context. Yeah, privacy in at home is not the same as privacy at outside the home. Yeah, outside the house, privacy in school. So by extension, privacy at workplace. The question is, do we still have privacy at workplace? So if we go back by the early notion that privacy is inherent in our life, so wherever you go, you need privacy. You will need privacy. But of course, the intensity and the amount will be different. When you go to other places where you meet people, then you have a reduced expectation of privacy. Reduced expectation. You cannot enjoy the same privacy and have at home. So this has to be put in the context where you are, with whom you are, and the same goes with the workplace. Workplace means talking about you being employee, each of us being employees and employed by people, meaning you are entering to other person's space, because this workplace we are talking about, office, for example, it belongs to the owner of the company or the owner of the business, because they are the one who actually owns the place. So therefore, you will have some reduced expectation of privacy, but you don't simply leave it away and leave it at home in not having it, because it will be difficult for you as well. When you want to go to the call of nature, you need a privacy. It cannot be something of common space. There are places at in the office where the owner, the business owner or the employers would allow a space where people will be talking about or doing their private matters rather than the office matters. For example, in common rooms or in the, yeah, the staff room, or maybe pantries and so on. So this is where things which is not official being done, in the workplace. Therefore, we can say that it is contextual. Yeah, it may differ between societies and communities. Uh, how are they affected? They're affected by values. Number one, yeah, by trade and by technologies. Values means, yeah, the values that we grow up with. Yeah, Islamic value, Muslim value. We have a very strong value about privacy. I remember I was at one time before COVID. Yeah, I was invited by this academic consortium in Belgium to speak about privacy in Islam. They want to know. They want to know what Islam says about privacy. So I mentioned to them it was a very great opportunity for me to inform people of different nations and religious and cultural background the beauty of Islam. Speaking about privacy that we're going to see very soon after this. Yeah, Islam is cares so much about it because it is part of the dignity of a person. Without privacy, we deny dignity of a person. We deny the value. That's how it is. But remember, everything in Islam, of course, we do it, yeah, for the pleasure of God, seeking the pleasure of Allah. Yeah, you have privacy not for the purpose of, yeah, opposing or doing things uh, which cause displeasure of God. Yeah, in other words, privacy is a component where you can do your part, you can do your role as a vicegerent and in worships, yeah, to the best of it. Without privacy, maybe things will be difficult. It is also affected by trade. By trade, okay, before I go to by trade, by values, we also recognize different cultures have different values, yeah. In the Western culture, for example, values are somehow very, sometimes diametrically different with ours. Human rights, talking about human rights for the sake of human rights, so they can do whatever they want to do in the name of human rights. That's because the values are quite different. By privacy means they can do everything or whatever they want to do with their body. For example, it is my body. So you want to draw tattoos, you want to draw anything with your body. It is your own private life. You want to do whatever you want to do in your private space. It is up to you. That is the value, the different values, how things will differentiate, yeah, how privacy is being accepted and implemented. Both in both values of both cultures, we recognize privacy and we accept privacy. But when implementing it, we are quite influenced by the values. Second, about trade. Trade means uh, it's about loss and profit. It's about benefits. About benefit. If you think that you can gain some benefits by sacrificing some of your privacy, then you will do it. That's why in life, sometimes we sacrifice our privacy for the purpose of getting more benefits, getting benefit for gains. So this is what I call as trade. Yeah. Even though sometimes they have to sacrifice the value, yeah, because this is quite two different things. Because in Islam, value is everything. All these Islamic junctions of the Sharia is everything. Even when you do trade, you must do the trade according to the Sharia. Yeah, but sometimes there are situations where trade, yeah, it will lead. Yeah, the how you gain the benefit will lead. That's why you don't feel so worried when you have to uh, sacrifice, and when you have to submit so much of your personal data in order to get values, yeah, in order to get benefits. For example, in any transaction, when you purchase something, the other party says, "Oh, you must provide me with your data," then you are okay with that. Yeah, then as long as I can get this thing. Or sometimes it's not even with purchase. Remember when you pick your mobile phone and you want to install any apps, yeah, most of these apps you install it for free, isn't it? You install them for free, but actually you paid with the price of your personal data. And personal data means you reduce the control of your private life by having some of your personal information given to other person. Yeah, the more you give the data to other person means you reduce your expectation of privacy. But the problem is sometimes we don't realize this. We simply want to install apps and then give out our data, but at the same time we still expect some privacy. That's not right. We must understand that by doing that, you should you should reduce your expectation of privacy. Yeah. Then another thing is that the moment you become more um, socially known or famous, yeah, you become like a celebrity, you become like politician, or you are a public figure, you hold public offices. The moment you decide and you enjoy that, you actually know that you reduce your expectation of privacy. Yeah, people like me, I still can go around any part of KL, any parts of Kuala Lumpur without without being disturbed by people. But people like some public figures, some celebrities, they know the moment they go out from their home, all eyes are on them. All eyes are on him or her, and so on. Some of them will approach and want to get signature. Some of them will want to get selfies together. Some others will just take pictures from distance. This is happening, and you cannot expect the same. Yeah, the moment you are. So what do these people do? They will go on camouflage. Yeah, sometimes they use lots of accessories just to make sure people do not notice them going out, because you have traded, yeah, your your fame. You trade your fame with the. So when you are a public figure, then you have to expect that. You have to expect. But of course, the law is there to actually tell you the boundary, yeah, the boundary where people can get in and can cross or cannot cross. Yeah. But certainly you have to consider trading off, yeah, trading off your privacy with that gain, that fame, benefit, profits, and so on. Yeah. And last but not least, it's also affected by technologies. Yeah, technologies. Now we talk everyone. If I talk technology, people will talk about AI. AI is of course not the end, and certainly it is not the last thing that we will see about technology. Yeah, technology from the very beginning, the photograph technology, printing technology, then sensor technology, television. These all each of them pose some threat to privacy, right? Because the moment they enter into our life, then you are under the scrutiny of others or public, to be worse. So nowadays there are so much technologies. Internet is one of them. This facial recognition technologies, sensor technologies, your geographical locations, your satellite. All these are ready to capture each and every movement of yours, yeah, to be retrieved, to be absorbed, and certainly to be utilized by other people. Yeah, this is the three things that will affect the use and the application of the right of privacy. Okay. Then we said in Islamic perspective, certainly it is not foreign, it is not new. As I said, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam need some privacy in sometimes, yeah. In fact, one of the greatest kind of a form of worship is to be alone, to wake up at the night, to be alone only with God and pray. That's one of the biggest worship. Yeah, uh, that's why the reward is very big when you wake up. Yeah, wanasuniam. Yeah, wa kumu bilaili wanasuniam. Wake up in the night and people all are asleep. Get alone only with God, with Allah. So whatever you pray, whatever you wish, inshallah will be accepted by God. This is the reward which is promised by God, by Allah. So in order to do that, we need privacy. Can you imagine doing that in the middle of the crowd? Of course, it is not possible. Yeah. So in this slide, we see how Islam sees privacy in so many aspects. Yeah. For example, personal data itself is an asset. Therefore, it has a value. Therefore, it has to be protected. I mentioned here Surah Al-Baqarah in verse 31. It is the story of Prophet Adam. If you remember, Prophet Adam, the moment Allah mentioned to the malaika, to the angels, that Prophet Adam, I'm going to create this prophet, this first person, they were protesting. In quote in quote, yeah, they were protesting. Why are you going to create a person who is going to destroy and cause problems to the earth? So they are quite skeptical. I mean, the angels are skeptical. But Allah said, "No, I know what you don't know." Then Allah wants to show that how beautiful the creation is and things that he or she can do. So what Allah did was to give all the knowledge and information. So we call this, yeah, in this informatics layer, there is a layer of data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. So everything will be given to the Prophet Adam. وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا ثُمَّ عَرَضَهُمْ عَلَى الْمَلَائِكَةِ. Yeah. Al-Asma'a kullaha, according to some mufassirin here, means everything, all the known names, known information on earth, yeah, even before it happened. Adam knows everything. So it was shown to the Malaika, and the Malaika all surrendered. Yeah, yes, this is, you know better. You subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. What from we get from here is that human without data, without information, is powerless. Yeah. So the moment you have data, you have asset. So this data includes personal data. Of course, this discussion can go to so many places. But what I want to stress here, part of the important privacy issue is that how you control and keep your personal data, because personal data is valuable. With personal data, you can do much. In fact, by controlling and commercializing your own personal data, you can do much. And if you allow others to do that, then the gain will go to these other people rather than to yourself. That's why I'm saying here personal data is an asset. Then under in the Quran we have some injunctions about the adab, yeah, about the rule during communications. The communication must be private. If it is private, then keep it private. And there is a secret, you better keep secret of people. And then there's also what we call as territorial privacy. There are places where you cannot transgress. Yeah, this is the sanctity of home, and also rule against surveillance. You shall not. Yeah, you shall not spy against each others because it will lead to evil. I have some. Yeah, I'll take the time to give you some of these Quranic injunctions. I don't do this so much, yeah, in the talk, but since this is in IIUM, so I want to make sure we all are exposed to these values, yeah, from the Quran and the Hadith, yeah. So in Islamic perspective, first from the Surah An-Nisa, this is a very general injunction, very general rule to respect each other, yeah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل إلا أن تكون تجارة عن تراض منكم. So whatever you do, the trade, the transactions, must make sure you have consent from each other. Otherwise, it will cause injustice. This is so relevant when we talk about this technological perspective, the current digital life, where so much data being traded, and in most cases, people do not know that their data are being traded. So this will cause injustice. Yeah. So from this ayah, we can get that the rule of to respect to each other because it will uphold others' dignity, property, and liberty, and also prohibition against oppression, injustice, and mischief. And also it upholds the importance of consent or mutuality. Yeah. Later on in practice, then we understand that whenever you want to process other people's personal data or personal information, make sure you get consent from them. Make sure it is transparent. You tell them for what purpose and so on and so forth. Next, injunction from the Quran is from this Surah Al-Hujurat. I think this is the one which is very commonly cited by many. Yeah, that say here, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم ولا تجسسوا ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه واتقوا الله إن الله تواب رحيم. You see, to have the best understanding of this verse, you must understand the ayah before and after, because the whole sets of verses actually guide us about how to live social life. Yeah, there is another ayah before this, uh, telling what to do with each other when your brother is in front of you. Yeah, when your brother is in front of, meaning when in the presence of your brother, what to do and what not to do. Yeah, don't curse him. You must talk nice to him and so on. But now this particular verse is another rule of what to do with your brother in his absence. Yeah, so that is the difference between this verse and the other verse. Yeah, the other verse is before this, but this verse is the most relevant. Is what to do or what not to do in the absence of your brother. Yeah. So in this case, this ayah says, avoid. Yeah, all believers, avoid many suspicions. Ijtanibu kathiran min al-zan. The suspicion. You suspect someone of doing evil. You suspect someone of not following certain rules. You suspect someone of having some bad characters, all based on suspicions. Yeah, this is wrong because indeed some suspicions are sinful. Yeah. Other than that, the second one, do not spy. Yeah, do not spy. Do not put your, your attention to one person, following him, and so on. So in today's life, people spy each other. People spy each other using lots of again, as we said, technologies will help you to do that. Yeah, recently the Malaysian Parliament had amended the penal code to include stalking. Yeah, stalking. People used to do spy and follow each other to some extent, which cause very intrusive and privacy intrusive and cause uh, disturbance and also discomfort to others. This has been attended to by the parliament, and there is a new law actually against stalking. Yeah, we will see next. Then not to backbite one another. Yeah, backbite means ghibah. La yaghtab ba'dukum ba'da. You see, these are three things when your brother is absent from you. Yeah, don't suspect him. Where is he? He's not coming to office. He must have done. He must have stayed overnight. Yeah, cannot wake up, or he must have gone elsewhere, missing in action. Then you start, suspicions, and not only that, then you spread the word. That's bad. The spread means riba. Yeah, you like tabak ba'du. If you just keep it in yourself, this is called suspicion. Suspicion, you keep it. A zone means you do it on your own. That one, even that one is wrong. Yeah, that one is because our heart, will be counted for. Maybe you don't do anything physical, but your heart does something. So this is one of the ayah which says that your heart will be counted for, and because you have been suspicious unnecessarily. We should avoid that. And then the moment you spread it out, then it becomes a giba. Yeah, it becomes a giba. In between, also there is tajassus. Tajassus, you're spying each other. So all this, yeah. Why are these not allowed? Because when you do this, you actually create problems between you and others, create disharmony, and also you actually disrespect people. Yeah, you disrespect people. Therefore, Allah made it very strongly here against all this. Fear Allah, ittaqullah, yeah. Inna Allah tawwabur rahim. Surely Allah is the acceptor of the repentance, most merciful. If we have ever done this to our friends, to our brothers, to our colleagues, office mates, and so on, let's repent. Let's do tawbah and tell ourselves not to do it again, inshallah. Okay. Then we have some hadith. Normally, when it comes to hadith, it becomes so detailed and so on. We have some hadith here. I'll just highlight the norms, yeah, the norms from this hadith. All this from hadith sahih, yeah, all the accepted hadith. Here, Abu Hurairah reported from the Prophet as saying, "If anyone removes his brother's anxiety of this world, Allah will remove from him, for him, one of the anxieties of the day of resurrection in the Yawm al-Qiyamah. Yeah. If anyone makes easy for an impoverished man, Allah will make easy for him in this world and in the day of resurrection, meaning after in the hereafter." And then you see the next one. If anyone conceals a Muslim secret, yeah, um, man sataro ala muslimin, sataro. Sataro means satro. You conceal. You put a veil on it. Yeah. Man sataro ala muslimin. Satarallahu alaihi fid dunya wal akhirah. Then you see the reward is very big. You just what you need to do is conceal his secret. You know, somehow you happen to know that someone has a secret. Some secret. What is secret? Yeah, something that you don't like it to be known by others. Yeah, it can be official secret, it can be trade secret, or it can be personal secret. So it depends on the context. If you talk about person, then personal secret, there are so many secrets. I know you are a good man, but I know what you are in the last 10 years. For example, somebody already become a public officer. I know him, he is now talking a lot of good things. I know when he was a young, yeah, he did this, he did that. Why would you want to do that? Yeah, that is that is a source of lots of problems in future. Yeah, either between you and that person, or the viral, effect, yeah, it will cause to the society, especially you're talking about someone who is being respected. So let's keep it that way. Let's keep it that way. Yeah, you are under no obligation to inform people. Why would you be so busy telling, well, I know this person, I know that person, I know about our boss, he was our neighbor, for example. um, why you want to do that? Simply by keeping it secret, simply by not doing anything about that, then you will get so much reward from Allah. Yeah, Allah will conceal your secret in this world and the day in the hereafter. MashaAllah. Yeah. I think we have to admit, everyone has mistake, isn't it? Everyone has bad day and has bad experience in the past. Everyone has bad habit. But the difference is that some of these people are known to have that. I mean, those bad habits are known to others, while some others they are not known. So who keeps that? Allah keeps that. Yeah, Allah, of course, Allah keeps that. It may be by way of some incidents, but basically it's Allah who will decide whether our secret will be known to others or not. So let us take this as a very strong message, that let's keep secrets of everyone secret. There is one very important aspect of privacy, because he has his own life, he has his own private life. Yeah. Later on, we have, of course, different contexts, under different contexts, this information may need to be known. For example, what when the case goes to a public scrutiny and the legal procedure, for example, in the court, when you are called to the court and the judge asks you about certain person, then you have to open. That is already a different situation, different context. Yeah, you are under obligation to inform the court the truth, nothing but truth and only the truth. If you know about this person, in the way he did, or whatever characters they have, then you must inform the court. Otherwise, you will be guilty of perjury, giving a wrong testimony, false testimony. There is, of course, two different things. We must understand the difference, right? Okay, in other hadith, Also, it was heard from Muawiyah, it was narrated, I heard the messenger of Allah say, if you search for the faults of the people, you will corrupt them. Yeah. Um, Innaka in ittaba'ta awratin nas. You see, the word used is awrat. This is what I want to highlight later. Yeah. Awratin nas, meaning the faults of other people. Yeah. Then you will corrupt them. You will nearly corrupt, or you will nearly corrupt. Either you corrupt them or you will almost corrupt them. So there is possibility, likeliness, yeah, that if you follow and search other people's faults. So what is the best? Not to do that, not to follow people's faults. And as long as it is his life, then it is his life. Yeah? Why do we need to talk about it? Why do we need to follow about it? Yeah. See the word in ittaba'ta awratin nas. The word aurat in our language is aurat, yeah, become aurat. Aurat is more like physical part of the body that you have to cover, yeah. But in its real meaning in Arabic, aurat means, yeah, the aib, the fault, something that you have to cover. Itulah kalau in physical you have to cover. But basically the word means something that you have to cover. Otherwise, it will cause embarrassment to others, or it will cause yeah, problems, yeah, to the person. So we have to uh, consider it. So in Islam, the concept of aurat is actually how you how you keep things, yeah, uncovered rather than covered, yeah. Okay, in the next hadith, I have just few of them before we go to the legal parts. And from Abu Hurairah reported the Messenger of Allah, avoid suspicion. Yeah, iyakum wa zanna. Iyakum means try to avoid. Be distant. Don't get close to. Yeah, be distant. Iyakum. Yeah, iyakum wal hasad. Iyakum wal zanna. Iyakum of everything else. Avoid suspicion because for inna zanna akzabul hadith. Yeah, for the suspicion is the most lying form of talk. That is basically the how much we have to, yeah, how we have to avoid it. That's why the prophet reminded us against it, yeah, very strongly. Do not be inquisitive about one another. Wala tahassasu. Wala tajassasu. So these two words always come together in many hadiths. Sometimes tajassasu first, then tahassasu. Yeah, just different dot there. Yeah, tahassasu, tajassasu. Tajassasu means spying each other. Jasus, spy. Yeah, don't spy. Why do you need to spy? Yeah. Well, no, the problem is we all are in this social media life. We cannot avoid from knowing about each other. I must say, unfortunate, yeah, how beautiful was life without social media if we are looking at that point, yeah, that point of view. We don't have to know about other people if we don't really need to, yeah. But today, the moment you open your mobile, then you have to, and you allow yourself to follow things that you don't really need to follow. Okay, to know what he's going, what he's doing, what he is eating, what where he's going, what dress he is dressing, and so on. Yeah, it is gone is the day where you can choose what you want to see. Yeah, now the problem is we become spy by default, by default. Yeah, because then you realize, well, I just as what to do. So try to minimize. That's why lowering your gaze is actually a very important principle there. Yeah. Waddul basar, lowering your gaze. Yeah. Lowering, try to avoid. Keep it under your control. That's basically it. Yeah. Keep it under your control. There are things that you don't need to see. There is tajassasu. The other one is tahassasu. Tahassasu means you want to know about others. Yeah. Inquisitive. You want to hear. You want to know. That's different. Tajassasu means you follow. Yeah, you look you so tajassasu means the act of following. Tahassasu means the wish, the willingness to, yeah, to follow. So though some similarities, but they are quite different technically. Right. Could be my last hadith for today. Narrated by Abu Hurairah, Allah Messenger, the Prophet said, beware of suspicion, iyakum wa zanna. Okay, this is similar in some parts. for it is the worst of false tales. فَإِنَّ الظَّنَّ أَكْذَبُ الْحَدِيثِ. Actually, related to this hadith, there is another hadith say, uh, uh, it is the worst lie is when someone relate whatever he heard to other people. Yeah, there are people who is doing that. You heard something, then you tell others. So in digital life, it comes in a way of forwarding messages. Yeah, whatever you receive, you tell others. You did not actually realize the source of this post, whether it is true. Even if it comes from a truthful source, then you have to actually tell whether it is useful to spread it to other people, isn't it? Yeah. So Prophet already reminded against that. Yeah. For those who like to simply spread whatever he heard, that is the akzab. I mean the worst lie. Okay. So it's similar to this one. And don't look for others' faults, and don't spy, and don't hate each other. There's the addition here. Don't hate and don't desert or cut your relation with one another. Yeah. Wakunu ibadallahi ikhwana, and be brothers. So these all put together because it means it comes together. The moment you start spying out to others, telling other people about what you see, again without clarification, verification, and authentication, you create further trouble. Yeah, social illness, social disputes, and maybe legal disputes, and then the relationship of brotherhood uh, will be disrupted. That's why Prophet put it very very strongly, closely to uh, ikhwan, being brothers when you do that. Okay. Oh, sorry. This is the last one. Another rule from Hadith. It has been reported that a man was brought before Abdullah bin Mas'ud because his beard was giving out smell of wine. Okay, Ibn Mas'ud said, "We have been prohibited from spying on Muslim and finding faults with them." See, you are not supposed to do that. Just you see people, after all, unless it is a clear injustice being done or clear transgression of rights or infringement of law, a violation of law. Other than that, halas, keep it. Yeah. That is the whole things that I mentioned here is how much actually in Islam we have to respect people's dignity, privacy, and so on. So you don't see privacy as right to be left alone simply like that. No, but actually privacy to to hold the dignity of people, respect the privacy of others, yeah, and make sure it does not disturb the harmony of the social life. That is a very strong Islamic perspective from what we got from the Quran and the Hadith. And in summary, right to privacy is seen as a social component for a bigger set of objectives, which is respect to individuals' life, shield against injustice,
The
because by
structure
privacy means you
of the
are
ceiling.
avoided from wrongs of others, then public harmony and reconciliation. Okay, we mentioned about how strong it is
Doktor
related to
kamu
the
apa
brotherhood
nak cakap
and
ni
transparency
dalam
and
English ni
accountability.
doktor? Kami nak letak ni dalam
Transparency here
report ni
means
doktor.
you
Nak,
you
how
know
to describe
what you do is
this?
going to be accounted
The
for.
structure is
Will be accounted for, and we have to
ah.
differentiate between the personal life and when we say
Tapi
about
dalam gambar dia tak nampak.
public interest. Yeah,
Tak nampak
in
sangat.
fact, if you read many
Dia macam
hadith
tak
and
tak
you
apalah.
want to search for the word spy or jasus, yeah, it will come in two different situations. Number one is the one that we just mentioned. Between in social life, you are not supposed to spy against each other. But there are so many hadith where Prophet mentioned about jasus in the context of jihad, yeah, in the context of war, because this is a tool. Yeah, spying is a tool for war, tool for when
Excuse
it
me,
comes
Sister Hazan Hayati,
in
please
the
mute.
Bible jihad. Yeah, so it is very important. It is considered as a part of the important mala. Uh, if alu ila bihi fahuwa wajib. Yeah, and if you do something wajib, must use something. So this other thing is also wajib, meaning in the context of jihad, yeah, spying is necessary. Okay, there is quite different things. Yeah, all right. So now, from the Islamic perspective, I highlighted to you. Of course, it doesn't tell you the so much about the different places. It could be in the workplace, other than workplace, in the hall, in the market, and so on. But the principle is the same. You have to respect. It doesn't really. It does not. You see the importance or the obligation to respect others is not tied or is not dependent on the place or the physical place where he is. Yeah. But of course, we have very strong other rules when the person stay at home. Certainly, home is a sacred place, home of others. You must not enter without permission. You must not spy. That is quite different. But generally speaking, spying is not tied with wherever person. So wherever he is, don't spy. Even when someone doing it in the place where you are there, you are what you need to do is just keep the secret. Yeah, you know where you don't spy, but you happen to know something wrong with him or her, but then you just keep it secret unless you are under obligation of law. You're under obligation of law to tell or some disciplinary unit calling you to tell the story, and you are under such a rule because you are bound by that. But other than that, wherever it is, then you have to keep it secret and let the privacy be intact. Yeah. So we see how privacy is being affected and implemented in different contexts. Privacy in business life, privacy in legal and constitutional perspective. Then we will see one after the other. So in Malaysian context, interestingly, yeah, uh, actually not many cases where people go to court and sue others on the basis of privacy. At least not in the past 10 years, and not in the past 10 or 15 years, but in the past 5 years. Yeah, after maybe in the past recent years, lah, I cannot say exactly. You see, uh, people start to use this, yeah, as an important issue, a legal issue, and sue other people in the court on the basis of privacy. Here I have a few slides, but the full list is here. I mean, not really full, but I highlighted the most important cases. Number one, case of ultra dimension. Okay, case of ultra dimension. Since I don't have the slide here, uh, it's about it's back in 2000, early 2000. Yeah, this is one of the first cases on right to privacy in Malaysian courts. The case was brought by the kid, actually represented by the parents, against this company. What happened was this company had taken the picture of the kid when the kid was with his schoolmates. Actually, it was kindergarten. Yeah, kindergarten. The teacher brought the group of kindergarten pupils, kids, yeah, outside. It's outdoor, and then one person actually took the picture from outside, and this is a public place. It was taken, and then he could have procured. I mean, sorry, he could have transferred or shared this picture to other person. Yeah, and this other person had actually used the picture as billboard marketing materials. Yeah, so you can imagine there is this billboard marketing, yeah, billboard advertisement based on that picture taken from this public activities, yeah, outdoor activities of the kids. So the parent took action against the some of the parties, including the person who took the picture as well as the person who used the picture, arguing that there is a privacy, being infringed. In other words, he argued that my kid's privacy has been infringed by having the picture being taken up, without their consent, without the permission, and so on. Of course, if there is permission, it will be end of the story, isn't it? So the fact that there is no consent means the kid and the parents were not involved with any of this commercial of the advertisement. And in other words, maybe there is no incentive whatsoever. Yeah. So this case went to the court, arguing that this was infringement of privacy. But as I mentioned to you, this is the first case to actually take action against on the basis of privacy, the court, the High Court of Kuala Lumpur actually decided not to allow, not to allow the suit or not to allow any compensation. But the most important decision from this case actually, the when the court said that in Malaysia, right to privacy is not legally recognized. So this is one of the first case back in 2003, decided or reported in 2003, where the court did not recognize the right to privacy of people. Yeah. Therefore, if you sue someone on the basis of infringement of privacy, then it is not going to be allowed. Yeah. Unfortunately, of course, but that's how I must tell you. This is how the law has actually developed. Yeah. Then we have this Lee Cherpo. Oh, sorry, this is Lee Yupo. Yeah, Lee Yupo. Before Lee Yupo, I have Lee Cherpo. Lee Cherpo, the second one, which is not without slide here. CCTV case. What actually happened? This case is from Johor Bahru, from JB. Yeah. So uh, there were these two people living adjacent to one another. Yeah, they are neighbors actually. So they had dispute, quarrels. Yeah. Well, we don't want to know why they quarrel, but certainly they quarrel because they are neighbors. Yeah. If they are not neighbors, they would not have quarrels. I think they quarrel about certain things between them. And the quarrel happened to be physical as well. So what happened was one of these two neighbors then decided to install CCTV cameras around his house. Yeah, there were five or six cameras around the house. The objective is, of course, to ensure the control the movement. To ensure he knows the movement of the other neighbor. Yeah, to ensure there is no such attack or whatsoever. Yeah. But then, what really intrigued the other party was that one of the camera was actually directed directly towards the entrance of the other person's house. Yeah. Um, Meaning he could see that camera was directed towards his own entrance, which means that his movement in and out the house would be simply captured and recorded. So he's not happy with that, especially with that particular camera. If you have camera to normal places, to public and common space is okay, but the one which is directed to his house entrance, yeah, he was not happy. So they quarrel again because of that, and then this dispute went to the court. Yeah, went to the court in JB. Interesting situation. Yeah, could be maybe anyone can take it to the cinematic situation. Take it to be it's a short movie. Then, of course, in the court, the biggest the point in argument in contention was that camera, which was um, directed to his place. Yeah, he argued that there was infringement of privacy. Of course, again, remember if you are to use this ultra dimensions case, certainly he would lose the case. Yeah, but then he has to come up with something new, something new arguments to bring to the court so as he can win the case. The other party also at the same time argued that there is no infringement here. There is no trespass, no infringement. All what I did was I installed my camera on my property, on my own property. It is not your property, so I can do whatever on my own property. Yeah. Um, okay, when this goes to the court and the court highlighted the situation, then the court actually realized very straightforward that that camera which is directed to the entrance, yeah, of the other person's house is considered intrusive. Yeah, it's considered intrusive. You may have other camera to other places, to normal common areas, common yards, and so on, but not to that particular place, because by doing that you're actually causing that discomfort to the house owner, and by doing that you actually exercise surveillance, yeah, over the particular person on the movement in and out the house. So yeah, what was decided? the court decided that yes, there was infringement or breach of privacy in this case. It was a victory for privacy from this case, and the court decided for that particular camera uh, to be taken out, yeah, to be deinstalled or maybe to be redirected to other place. And this was the decision of the court. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, of course, now we have two cases where the court had treated the privacy right quite differently. Now we have the third one, Lee Yu Po, yeah, and between hospital and their patient. What happened was there was a normal surgery taking place. The patient, who was a female patient, she was put on anesthetic, so she was not awake during surgery, yeah, during hospitalization, and it took her some time. Then she actually, after the surgery was completed and she was discharged and everything was fine, isn't it? Then a few days after that, she came back to the hospital to actually settle some administrative matters, only to realize, yeah, that during the surgery, under the anesthetic, the doctor or the hospital and doctor had actually taken some photographs of her body. And that includes the photograph upon her private parts. Yeah. She was made to know about that. She was made to know that the hospital had taken some of the pictures, and so she was immediately unhappy. Yeah, she was immediately felt so unhappy because she said that she was not informed. She was not informed that I was not informed that you're going to take these pictures. I felt offended because you are taking the pictures of my private parts. That's basically the line of the argument, and this has breached the privacy of myself, my privacy. But the hospital argued. This is also an important point. Yeah, the hospital argued that the pictures taken were actually, number one, it's considered as a normal practice, as a regular practice of the surgery. Number two, they argued that it is not being leaked. In other words, they are kept secure, they are kept private and confidential, they are not being misused, and that's it. Yeah, that's all. I mean, the hospital argued that nothing was wrong. Nothing was wrong. This is part of the procedure. We kept it securely. We don't allow any unauthorized access. There is no leakage. They are all secure. The only problem, of course, they did not inform, yeah, the patient. They did not get specific consent for that. Yeah, because the patient argued she was never informed about that. She didn't know and she didn't never give consent for that. Yeah, maybe suppose that she was informed about that, and what will happen? Of course, the patient will maybe may want to have a say about it. Number one, number two, because imagine that if this happens to you, certainly you want to have a say about it. For example, if she's a female, oh, can we get maybe a female photographer to do it for me? Uh, may can I be make sure that this will be only accessed by certain people, for example? You want to actually have a say like that. Why? Because it is something very sensitive about you, about your body. Yeah. So you want to have some say about that. So having it being done without a say, without you knowing, might have offended your very basic, feeling. Yeah. This is what the patient and the plaintiff argued in this case. Yeah. This is a case, High Court in Pulau Pinang. Yeah. So what happened next? Because the court considered, yeah, the whole thing and considered especially the distress, yeah, the distress suffered by this lady, and and the embarrassment and so on. So the court finally decided, yeah, that this case, there is a breach of privacy in this case. Actually, we have this, yeah, there is a breach to privacy, and the court also mentioned that privacy breach is actionable, uh, because in this case, the privacy right of a female in relation to her modesty, decency, and dignity in the context of the high moral value is her fundamental right. So this is actually taken from this part. From this case, people argued, yeah, after that, people argued, okay, we can sue someone under a breach of privacy as long as there is an issue of attack or transgression to the modesty, decency, and dignity of a person. Some scholars even argue that it only applies to if the plaintiff is a woman, which I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, men can also be uh, can also suffer distress in this situation. So it doesn't have to be for woman in that case. But yes, this case has highlighted, yes, you can sue someone under privacy if it is something that attacks your modesty, decency, and dignity. This will be quite relevant in our current life, because as we know, in Malaysia there is no specific offense of privacy. So if you feel that your privacy is abused, then this can be done through this civil claim, civil damages, and you have to argue all this, with all this. You don't simply argue that, oh, my privacy is being breached, I don't have privacy now, this person did something against my privacy, but you have to argue what kind of harm, what is the harm, what is the damage that you have suffered, yeah. And in this case, it is that distress, the attack to the modesty, decency, and dignity. This had also been followed. Let me go to the next case. Maslinda, yeah. This has been followed that in this case, in Maslinda's case, yeah, there was an accident. Actually, this Maslinda was subject to arrest because she was with some of her friends. She was arrested, yeah, during raid, nightclub raid, and so on. So some people will have to be taken to lock up and taken get some apa ni to explain, to give some information, yeah. So during the arrest situation, actually these people were taken to the truck. Okay. In that process, this particular lady wanted to release herself, yeah. Pee lah, basically wanted to pee, yeah, to release herself. So she was telling the officer, and the officer said, "What? No, you are on truck now. Why don't you just do it on the truck?" So she did it on the. Because there was no choice. She did it on truck. She peed on the truck with her friends covering her with some material covering her. But then there is this one evil man, evil person. Suddenly, of those people who were involved in the raid, suddenly he also jumped up and went to the truck during that situation and took picture of that person who was being on the truck. Yeah, and this picture, took picture, and then that's it. After that, she was very distressed. She was very upset with that incident. She took the case to the court. Yeah, she took the case to the court and argued there was a breach of privacy. And again, this case, in Maslinda's case, it followed the case of Lee Yu Po, that there was an attack to dignity and decency of a lady. Therefore, this was considered as actionable wrong. Actionable wrong means the person is wrong and must compensate. Yeah, must compensate. Okay. So in that case, again, the court highlighted, yes, there is a need to protect privacy. You can sue someone under privacy if the situation is towards that, that kind of distress, embarrassment, attack to the decency of a person. Actually, there is also a penal code section provision for that. But all these cases I mentioned to you are under civil claim. Yeah, civil claim means there is no crime. It is not a crime. So you sue under civil damages, civil compensation. Under in court, in the court proceedings, litigation, there are two types of litigation: civil and criminal. Yeah. If it is criminal, then the culprit or the wrong person will go either to jail or to pay fines and so on. But in civil damage or civil claim, you ask for compensation. Basically, you ask for compensation. Then the person, the wrongdoer, will pay, the compensation. If the court consider he was liable, then he will pay. So all these cases are under civil natures, in civil nature. Okay, now we have case number 5. Toh Siwei. Actually, this person was taken disciplinary action in a in his workplace, and it turned out that one of the basis or evidence was actually taken from an email, which the person argued was his private email. So this is quite very specific issues of workplace privacy. The question is whether or not your private email is considered private, or another question is whether or not the employer would have a, a power to actually check your email. Yeah, this is very I think relevant question. Um, the case had gone through quite long, and the court highlighted a lot of principles. Yeah, basically the court empowered or upheld the principle of privacy. That privacy is very important for a person, but the court at the same time from this case also recognized, yeah, that upholding privacy today is different because with these technologies and so on, sometimes you you have to reconsider whether you have a privacy or not, depending on the technological development and so on. So from this case, actually, the court found out that even though there is uh, evidence that the employer had used or had referred to the person's email in order to take action. But then the court said, or the court found that this email, the email in question was using some public domain, yeah, like Hotmail, Yahoo, Gmail, and so on. But then the court said this email, if you look at the content of the email, was everything about work. Yeah, it's about work. So as long as it is about work, you do not expect, yeah, privacy on that. That is very strong apa, statement or decision by the court. In the workplace, it is about work. So if it is about work, certainly you are subject to the workplace, rules, SOPs, and so on. And the fact that your email is actually contains all about work, then it is not considered as breach to your private communication. That is meaning the court said you do not expect um, privacy in such situation because it belongs to the workplace. Yeah, only that you are using the private email. That is the situation. Yeah. So, interestingly, from this case, we can highlight number one that yes, privacy is still recognized, but secondly, when it comes to workplace, you know that you are entering to your employer's domain. Yeah, so you are subject to these employers and employment rules, and you do not expect privacy for those official purpose, official use. Yeah, for official use of your resources, of your email, of your communications. In other words, your telecommunication, telephone use, your email use, your internet use, yeah, will have to abide by the employers, basically by contract, employers' expectation. So from this case, we can say that if there is a clear contract, a clear SOPs or clear regulations, in the workplace, then certainly there will be no problem. Because by saying that the email contains official work, in this case, the court may consider that if your email does not contain, this is the other way of arguing, yeah, or mafhum mukhalafah, means you get the decision from what is not stated. The court stated that if the email, your private email, contains official matters, then you do not expect privacy for that. Which also means that if your emails, yeah, contain private matters, then you may still expect your privacy for that. Yeah, especially if it is under your private domain. In other words, we have to be very careful. You have to, I mean, as a worker, then you have to exercise your judgment. Yeah, when you use your office, I mean, when you use your resources for official purpose, then you should be, you should expect that this thing will be scrutinized by your employers. Yeah, and that is for sure. So, what kind of judgment we need to do is to clearly segregate between official purpose and um, and personal purpose. Talking about email, for example, the best practice is you keep your official email for official purpose and you keep your private email for your private purpose. Yeah. By that, we are allowing the very clear separation. So the employers would also be able to clearly separate between the two and would not be going, yeah, through this private domain. Yeah. So that is the what we can take from this Tohsiwei's case. Actually, in this case, the argument about privacy breach was rejected by the court because it was not proven. Yeah, in this case, basically, what the person argued was actually it is not private matters. It is considered more as a official matters from this case, Tohsiwei. Yeah. Okay. We still have time for more cases. Yeah. Hani Suraya, interesting. Of course, I don't know people of today, but in the past, people know about her. Is she still popular? No, no, I mean, when I asked younger people, they didn't know. I mean, at least this happened about 15 or 10, 15 years ago. She's a celebrity at that time, very much widely known by people. Then what happened was she was on board, yeah, going to from KL to Bangkok, yeah. And then a person, actually, she was going with someone else. Yeah, we don't know. We don't want to say who is that someone else, but a friend of her, another a man. Yeah, but then this worker of this airline, yeah, what she did was after she allowed, yeah, the passenger to board the plane, and she took the picture of the boarding ticket. You know, the ticket will be torn out when you board. One part will be kept by the passenger, the other part will be kept by the airliner. So she managed to get this torn tickets on part of the boarding ticket, and then she took the picture side by side between her ticket and the other person's ticket, and they were not married at that time. And that man was actually under some other in some other news, actually also had some story. Therefore, when public know about these two people going together, yeah, going together, okay, this is actually the case, yeah, 2014, 10 years ago. When they know about these people going to go together, it became a big hit, a big news. So, because these two people were so upset, yeah, what have got this boarding ticket to do with their with the business, nothing to do with the business. I mean, what they should do is just allow passengers in, and then why would they take the pictures of these boarding tickets and spread it? And certainly this is already an abuse, yeah, an abuse of your customers personal information. Yeah, so this was considered as the first incident to be investigated, yeah, under the Personal Data Protection Act. However, this case finally was not settled in court because it was settled outside the court. Yeah, but if this was settled inside the court, certainly it will uh, create, many, or rather, it will lead to legal issues and potential infringements under the Personal Data Protection Act. Okay, this will be the last case that we have today. This is quite recent as well, in 2022. What we can get from this case was uh, that the court has finally upheld. No, I won't say finally. The court has again, yeah, up, upheld the importance of privacy. Yeah. In this case, this is actually a case between Genting and Pesuruhjaya Perlindungan Data Pribadi PDP, because they were not happy. What happened was there's another agency. There's another agency actually involved in this case, which is LHDN, Lembaga Hasil Dalam Negeri. They wrote to Genting to provide some data or information of the customers of Genting, for the purpose of taxation, for the purpose of tax collection and whatnot. And in doing that, the LHDN came up with the letter issued by Pesuruhjaya Perlindungan Data Pribadi or PDP Commissioner, saying that that letter by the PDP Commissioner saying that LHDN had the power or was allowed, basically, was justified in collecting the data from Genting Malaysia. The problem with this is that the Genting Malaysia was not happy because the data which is being asked by this agency was all data about certain activities. I mean, about all people. It is not the data directed to certain person. For example, we want to know about Mr. A and Mr. B, for example. No, actually, they ask the data of all individuals who are the customers of certain product or services. So basically, it's a very big personal information being requested. So they were not happy and argued that this is not right. This is not according to the PDPA. Yeah, that's why they sued the PDP commissioner, and this case went to the High Court in Kuala Lumpur. And in this case, you see, the court came up with a very strong statement, about the importance of the privacy, in the because in this respect, the privacy in the context of personal data, personal data and data processing, because the root of the PDPA is actually about right to privacy. um, so the court says that it is embedded in our federal constitution, the constitutional right of privacy, as an element of personal liberty under Article 5 plus 1, and that is how PDPA ought to be construed. So, okay, what we say here is that actually the court referred to the case of Toh Siwei, as I highlighted earlier. The court referred to the case of Toh Siwei and also to another case of Siwa Rasa. There are two cases actually being mentioned, being referred also in this case, Toh Siwei and Siwa Rasa, where in those cases, the court already approved that right to privacy is part of the fundamental liberty in Malaysia. Yeah, even though, especially in case of Siwa Rasa, even though the federal constitution does not ever mention about right to privacy, unlike other rights, for example, um, right to life, right to liberty, right to freedom of education, freedom of expression. These are all rights, fundamental liberties, we call it, under the federal constitution. There is nothing about right to privacy, actually. Yeah. But in Siwa Rasa case, Siwa Rasa Rasia case, the court actually had decided, had construed or interpreted that one of these rights, which is right to life and liberty under the federal constitution, also includes under its coverage right to privacy. Yeah, it is extended to right to privacy because right to privacy is so important, is so crucial in your life, without which it will affect how you enjoy your life. That is the reasoning. Yeah. So using that case, um, we can say that, I mean, the court in this case argued that it is very important, very important aspect of our federal constitution. It is very important, fundamental liberties, and fundamental liberty under Article 5 Clause 1. Yeah, the article says no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty save in accordance with law. So this is very important. If you want to do something which infringe or affects his right to life, and right to life is extended to right to privacy, then you must make sure it is done according to the law. Yeah. So This is the statement, but what actually was decided finally in this case, the court argued in this case that the request, yeah, made to get the whole personal information of Genting customers, yeah, was not in accordance with the law. Yeah, according to they actually cited the Personal Data Protection Act. Yeah, uh, there are some areas where if you want to collect data, even though okay, if you want to collect data, LHDN in this case was subjected to the PDPA. If you want to collect data, you must make sure that it is by permission. But there is no permission in this case. Okay, because if you want to say you want to argue that this is for exercising the law, for prevention of crime, and so on and so forth, then these things has to be clearly mentioned. Yeah. If you argue that it is an exercise of law, which law you are referring to? And does that law say specifically about this particular event that you want to argue? Yeah. So in doing that, I mean, in doing all these requests, this requirement of law has not been fulfilled. Yeah. In other words, the request was not in accordance with the law. Therefore, in this case, the court decided that the data should not be given, yeah, to the agencies. Okay. So also in deciding this case, the court again, yeah, recognize, yeah, the right to privacy. It has been recognized in both the I and the common law and common parlance, common life. The right to privacy refers to specific right of an individual to control the collection, use, and disclosure of personal information. Because we are talking about privacy in relation to the data. Yeah. In the beginning, we mentioned privacy is very wide. Privacy of your life, of your territory, of your house, of your property, and of your data also, of your communications, and so on. So in this case, it's about privacy of your data. Therefore, it has to be protected by law. Okay. Now, I want to highlight to you in my last part is what the law says. We already highlighted what the court says about it. Basically, from that court, let me just summarize. Yeah, from all these cases that I highlight to you here, from all these cases, what can we get? Number one, yeah, that privacy is recognized as an extension of the fundamental liberties in Malaysia. Yeah, number one. Number two, okay. Just because we said that privacy is a fundamental liberty does not necessarily mean that you can sue someone on the basis of breach of privacy, because these are two different things. Yeah. So now, based on these cases, we can argue that yes, the court may allow if someone sues another person under the breach of privacy, but only in some situation. What are the situation? Especially, you have to prove the harm and the damage that you suffer. Yeah. In the cases that we highlighted, the damage had been related to the distress, embarrassment, distress, yeah, attack to your dignity. Yeah, if you can fulfill that, so it is likely that based on these cases, you may likely get your compensation. Yeah, but if you cannot prove the type of the harms, the type of the damage that you suffer because of certain breach of privacy, then it is quite unlikely. Because remember, we are talking about compensation. Civil court, civil cases talks about compensation. Compensation means you have to prove what you suffer. Yeah? If you simply say, he breached my privacy, but at the end you don't suffer anything, you cannot show some typical damage or certain type of damage, then like in some of these cases, maybe your breach, your suit, yeah, will fail, yeah, in the court. Okay. Now I'm taking you to this statutory situation. We have three laws, yeah, three laws, because we don't have Privacy Act like in the US or in Australia, but we have few acts that actually uphold and support privacy. Yeah, first is Penal Code. Yeah, we will see section 507A. This is a new provision, and 509. And then Communications and Multimedia Act 1998, section 234, against the interception of communication. And last but not least, PDPA. Yeah, actually PDPA is very big law on its own. Okay, first, privacy-related statutory rules under Penal Code, Section 509. This case has been used by court for people who spy others, yeah, but to the extent of causing um, insult and attack to the modesty. Yeah, as you see here. Yeah, whoever intending to insult the modesty of any person, yeah, utters any words, makes any sound or gesture, or exhibits any object. These are three things that you can do. Intending such word or sound shall be heard, or that such gesture or object shall be seen by such person, or intrudes. This is the last element. Or intrudes upon the privacy of such person, then he shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 5 years, or with fine, or with both. Now you see, this is a criminal offense, yeah, that will happen if someone, yeah, intrudes the privacy, but you must link it with the element before that, yeah, with the intention to insult the modesty, yeah, of any person. Okay, so intruding privacy alone is not yet an issue under this section 509. Maybe it is a trespass. Okay, let's say you get someone enter into your house, into your compound without authority. Of course, it's trespass. We can sue them under trespass. Means he encroach. Yeah, but you cannot get them prosecuted under this law until unless you show that such trespasser did that to insult the modesty of any person. What does it mean to insult modesty? Maybe, for example, yeah, this was used by someone who trespassed and put a camera inside someone's house and then record, yeah, the activity of a person. Yeah, this was used. Someone, another celebrity in the past also got her house trespassed by the landlord. Yeah, then he installed a camera without her knowledge and recorded her activities inside the house, and then that film was actually taken out and in fact being spread out. So there is an element of insulting the modesty of any person. Yeah. So it is not a intrusion to privacy alone, but you must show that there is insult to modesty. Now, interestingly, we have a new section under Penal Code, new section 507A. It's about stalking. I mentioned to you earlier. Whoever repeatedly by any act of harassment, yeah, intending to cause, you just go straight to intending to cause distress, fear, or alarm of any person of the person's safety, commits an offense of stalking. So stalking, it has been defined generally to also include cyber stalking, means stalking using any technology. So for example, you look at subsection 2, uh, you see it can be done by following or tracking a person in any manner or by any means. The word any means here means it can include digitally or using the technology, yeah? Or communicating or attempting to communicate with a person in any manner or by any means. Again, this will open up the possibility of committing it online, yeah? So now people, some people have been doing this, following a person, and then not only following, but because you have to show that intention to cause distress, fear, or alarm to the person. Kalau if you don't have that element, so it is just a normal stalking. Some fans are stalking your Instagram. Sometimes to the extent you cannot do much, yeah, because you allow yourself to be followed. You cannot then complain, I have been followed by these people, that people, simply because they follow your Instagram, they keep on liking, they keep on commenting, then you feel being followed. Because the only solution for that is kick him out, or maybe just close down your account. Yeah, because the whole thing you allow it to happen. We have the big issues of cyberbullying later on. Yeah, of course, whatever social media is, there is a set of rules, set of accepted use policy and so on that we can use if you feel that some users are offensive to you. Yeah, but under the penal code, you have to prove that there is a repeated, yeah, repeated act of harassment. Repeated means what? Under the law says minimum it is twice. Yeah, in two occasions, in two incidents, minimum. Repeated. Repeat here means at least two times he has done that, then it's considered as stalking. The problem now, if it is only one time, it is not yet a stalking. He did it. What about he is doing it every day? I mean, it's already more than one time. Yeah, every day can create a new cause of action. All right. There is penal code. Now under Communication and Multimedia Act, there is a prohibition against interception of communication. Yeah. Intercepting. Is someone intercepting your communication without authority? It is an offense under the CMA. How is the interception being done? Of course, different technology, different way, different methods. Yeah. Uh, then it depends. Yeah, maybe your email is being intercepted, your phone communication being intercepted, your internet browsing activities being intercepted. Yeah, this must be done with authority. Only people with authority can do it. For example, law enforcement. Yeah, maybe some people are surveillance, doing surveillance. But in normal place, in workplace especially, this is not allowed. What kind of authority you are having? Yeah, if you are the employer, you don't have any authority to intercept people's communication. Yeah, it especially if it is a private communication. Yeah, unless you want to say, okay, we have this official event, you do the talk, and we will follow, or we will apa monitor, or we will also listen. It is part of the official work. Yeah, but if it is not, then interception of communication is wrong. Whoever is doing it, either employer or employee to employer or employee to employee, and so on. Yeah, this is not allowed under Communications and Multimedia Act 1998. Okay, under PDPA, this will be the last law to discuss. Of course, PDPA is big. Yeah, it's very big, especially in today's digital workplace. PDPA is very, very relevant. Yeah, very relevant. Yeah, for a workplace, you should, especially employers. Yeah, employers wherever you are, you should make it clear. Yeah, in this digital workplace, what is expected by the employer. Some employer, of course, they totally prohibit um, non-official work, for example, non-official email, for example. Some, very few actually, but most of other employers, they allow the use of the office resources for some private communication, for some private emails, or for some private browsing, and so on and so forth. And we have to be clear. Your policy needs to be clear in order to define what is allowed, what is not allowed. Yeah. I think if the policy is clear, then the employee can follow it very easily without hesitation. Yeah. I will say, of course, today we use our resources for so many purpose, maybe for our private communication as well, and so on. But we rather than banning it, rather than disallowing it, then we should have a clear SOPs and procedures. Yeah, what to do and what not to do. Okay, and when it comes to personal information, then there is a strict rule. There is a set of strict rules under the PDPA. If the data is part of the commercial data processing, then it belongs to the company, and then the employee should never communicate it to outsiders, because it will amount to the infringement of PDPA. For example, the principle of disclosure, principle of security. Yeah, under these principles, the employees are bound to ensure, yeah, the data or personal data of the office, for example, in the university, shall never be transmitted to third parties, without authorities. I understand that there are many third parties outside university. They want to request data of our student. Is it allowed or not allowed? If it is not part of our business, which is under teaching and learning in the university, then it should not be allowed. It will amount to unauthorized disclosure under Section 8 of the PDPA. So the best way is to have a very clear policies in our university, in our institution, the do's and the don'ts on data processing. So as we see in many cases, this PDPA is considered as very important legislation to uphold the right of privacy of individuals. These individuals include, in the workplace, these individuals includes the employees themselves, or the customers, or vendors, any third parties who are also working with the company. So each of these have their personal data being processed by the company, and therefore it will impose a set of principle. As we see here, principle of consent, adequacy, meaning non-excessive. You must not use it for something beyond the original purpose. Then you must notify what your practice is. That's why we need to have privacy policy. Then when it comes to disclosing the data to third party, make sure this is the disclosure which is already approved. I think, for example, for the university, disclosure between university and kementerian is very clear. We are under some rules, some obligations, and also it is something part of the whole activities. So it is okay. But if it is to be disclosed to a third party company, they said they want to gather new graduates, new who just graduated, they want to offer job. Of course, this is beyond. This is beyond our data processing scope. Therefore, we should not um, disclose, except if it is consented by the student themselves. So we need to be very clear about that. Then the fourth one, we have security principle. The data needs to be secured. Then data need to be retained until the time when we don't need it. Then you have to basically dispose of. But we must understand for example, in university, students' data, we use it for the student purpose. But the moment they graduated, we call them as alumni, right? So there is still a need between the university and the alumni to process certain data. Otherwise, if we delete all data, these people, they will not be able to certify their grades, their marks, or their certificates, because we have no more their data. This is not correct. So the moment the student graduated, we still can keep the data as far as the alumni purpose is concerned. Then data integrity, meaning the data needs to be accurate, needs to be updated, should not be wrongly put. That's why it's very important. The moment we collect data, we inform them. Look, make sure the data is correct. At the time of the collection. Then the principle of access means the data subject or the individuals should be allowed to access their data in our place or in the workplace. Right? Like, for example, employees, they want to know about the data being kept by the employer, then the employer should be able to provide the information. Okay, this is the data that we have about you. Something like that. It's under the PDPA. Okay, last but not least, I have some illustration. Common privacy incidents on campus, for example, the collection, since we are in UIA, we can see some situations based on some experience or stories before. Collection of excessive data of student or staff. This is not right. Remember, their data is their privacy, so we only collect data according to the need and the purpose. Okay, the purpose of we collect data. What is the purpose? Then based on that purpose, we don't simply collect things excessively. Because if we do that, meaning we already put a burden on ourselves, to justify why we collect such data. And not only that, if we keep the data which we don't need, then actually we become okay. Some people use this word very interestingly in one of the conference I got. They call it data obesity. Data obesity. Yeah, Meaning because you keep taking data, just like you keep taking food, you don't really need that food and become obese. Yeah. So also similarly in data processing, you just simply collect whatever data you don't really need. Yeah. So these data which are not necessary actually is a burden for us. Yeah, we better and let's not talk about, for example, our email capacity. Remember, at one point of time, we have to delete all those emails. Then we realize we have kept so much emails which are not necessary for our work. Many of them. That's why capacity become overloaded. So that is the example. Not only about overloading the capacity, but also it may bring about more legal burdens. Yeah, legal risk. Yeah, for example, if we leak that data or if data is accessed by third parties and so on and so forth. Then, third-party processor, device vendor, solution provider, co-researchers. Okay, what happened was so many data privacy incident in other places happened because of the breach that happens in the third-party place. Yeah, not in our place, but third-party place. For example, we have a third party who is doing payroll system for us, or maybe doing some security management, so they collect CCTV videos for us. So they have their own place and they have their own data, storage, but have no control over them. So that's the problem. If we have third party, then you better make sure all the SLAs and the contract are very strong. Yeah. Then we don't have much time to cover all this, but you see some, yeah, disclosure of student or staff data to third parties, especially in the university. You have 25,000 students, yeah, thousand of staff. It is a huge data that so many people out there would be willing to acquire for their own different purposes. So we better be very strict. Yeah, maybe the company is very strict, but what about the individuals inside the company? They can easily get the data outside and then sell it to third parties. Yeah. So in that situation, who is wrong? Yeah. Who will be liable? Of course, the person first, the first person who took out the data will be wrong, but the company also has some responsibility. Yeah. Whether we have done our due diligence or not. Okay. Section 133 of the PDPA says that if things happen, the company may also be responsible unless you already put some proper due diligence, proper SOPs, policies, and so on. Okay. Number 6, unnecessary disclosure at public board messages or announcement. Lecturers sometimes they announce students' grades. What they did was they put all the names, metric number, phone number. Because remember, I think we have a system where if you download, you have all the name, phone number, metric number, and phone number, and then some columns. If it is for your own purpose, it's okay. But then the moment you print it out and then you paste on your wall for people to see grade, for example, the midterm punya grades, then it will expose other personal information to other people. This is not correct. Yeah. This is not, you should customize your table. Maybe just put the name which is available to everyone. That is good enough. Yeah. Or metric number, just metric number without the name. It's good enough. And then put the date. Sorry, the grades. Yeah. Okay. All companies now use social media. So how are we managing that? I think it has to be very clear. Social media, when it is used for official purpose, make sure it does not a confuse between official and personal use of the social media, right? So it is very important for IUM staff, yeah, data privacy as a work culture, because we are talking about privacy. Most of the issues are about data, and actually not about data. Before data, we already see privacy as an important thing. Then try to avoid breaching the privacy of others. Try to avoid talking about other people's personal life. Try to avoid things which are not which are disliked, yeah, by others, and try to keep the secrets with you and not to spread to others. When it comes to data, also make it as a work culture and a compliance to the 7 principles of data protection under PDPA. And remember, you are both data subject and data user. Yeah. Golden rule applies. What is golden rule? You do things to others what you want others to do unto you, and don't do things to others what you don't want others to do it on you. That is a golden rule. Yeah. So you need to understand the data ecosystem. We need to understand the data worst protection. Don't take for granted. Expect the worst, yeah, because it is a digital life. It is very difficult now to keep the personal information, the privacy of others, yeah, and report incidents. Yeah, this is part of the SOPs that we need to have, yeah, in our workplace. Last but not least, privacy at the workplace is about dignity, respect, and harmony. Yeah, ABCD, as simple as ABCD, I can share with you. A affirms the privacy expectation for Malaysians. Malaysian here, I mean, sorry, it should be for our workplace, yeah, people lah, people in, if it is IUM, then among the IUM, if it is in your other people's workplace, between you and your people, affirm the right privacy expectation. I mean, in other words, we tell them, look, you come to our workplace, this is a place for work, this is a place to achieve some collective purpose, rather than taking your personal interest or personal business into the office. Yeah, don't do your personal business or work in the office workshop resource and so on and so forth. It is business as usual, no more. Yeah, because what was okay in the past is no longer okay now. We have to correct what was not correct before, so we create a new norm. Culture of respect, transparency, and accountability. This will help us in achieving this purpose, yeah, by keeping the by respecting the privacy of people. And last but not least, and very importantly, what to do next is define your new rules, define your SOPs. Yeah, it is no use that we understand all these values, but at the end, we don't have rule, we don't have SOP. When it comes to workplace, make sure you have a clear, correct SOPs, correct rule regulations, and then the do's and the don'ts, what to do and what not to do in your workplace. That will, inshallah, create what we want to achieve in this workplace. Yeah, that's it. That is my last page. I hope you take some few seconds to see. Alhamdulillah, my new publication is in the market now for you to perhaps consider if you wish. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the opportunity. I understand there could be some discussion of questions. Is there question?
Yeah, there is
Okay.
some. Okay, thank you, Doctor,
You're welcome.
for the understanding of the complex challenge and responsibility employers and employee encounter in this today digital and interconnected work environment. So I believe there is some question at the Zoom, maybe on the privacy. The question when you reveal is when you talk about the panel code, Doctor. Bagaimana dengan kamera kereta, Doctor? Maybe.
Yeah, camera kereta is, of course, you're right. You have to camera to install the camera on your car. It is your property. There's no issue about that. Now the issue is, okay, you have your camera with your car. Certainly, it is in your keeping. Yeah, it should be in your safekeeping. With the camera in your car, you expect that the camera will capture things, isn't it? But of course, your purpose is to capture about traffic, to capture what happens in your surrounding, isn't it? So that will be very helpful, especially today. So many unexpected incidents. That will be very helpful for evidence purpose and so on. Perhaps your question could also be leading to what if the camera capture certain private incidents, yeah? Of course, it's not your fault to have that. If your camera captures some private incidents, we go back to the principle. It is if it exposes someone else's bad situation or not nice situation, then certainly you have a choice to delete it, isn't it? You don't have. I mean, now the problem is people simply spread and share to the social media whatever he got. This is what Prophet Muhammad has warned us very sternly. It is the big. It goes to. It's considered as a big lies. Yeah, if someone has a tendency to simply spread whatever he heard, whatever he saw. Yeah, so it is not a good practice. Yeah, it will cause. So the moment you do that, certainly it will infringe someone else's dignity and so on. But can he sue you for that? Again, we go back to some questions. Number one, if that happens, that thing captured by the camera happens in a public place, so certainly people would have a lesser expectation of privacy in public space. The second question the court will want to scrutinize is what kind of harm or damage that you suffer because of that uh, video being captured. Yeah. So that are the two things that can be considered. Our law in Malaysian court is still evolving, I must say. But at least these are the 2 points the court will want to see. Yeah, whether in that place you have expected privacy in that situation. Yeah, in that situation. Secondly, whether it will cause harms to you. And harm here does not have to be monetary or physical. It can also be um, non-physical, mental. Yeah, that is also a recognized harm. So if that is considered affirmative, then maybe some compensation or some right can be afforded by the court to you, to the person who suffered. And then in other words, the video captured has to be taken out from public. Yeah. Any other question?
All right. Is there any question from the Zoom online meeting or on the YouTube? Feel free to ask. Maybe you can open the mic at the Zoom meeting.
YouTube.
There is on the Zoom meeting. Dr. Nowadays we have technologies that allow employers to track employees' whereabouts, body temps, and so on. I'm not sure is there
What is the question?
Is this okay? We have technology that allow employees to track employees' whereabouts, body temps, and so on.
The question is depends. Yeah. Okay, the answer is depend actually. If that is the workplace belongs to the employer, the first thing we have to understand that it is a private place. The workplace means it belongs to the employer. Yeah, you come there as an employee, you come there as basically a person to work there. So that person's, if we talk about uh, a place as a property, under the notion of law of property, meaning the owner will have right over his property, and this right is unlimited. He has right over that property, but we don't stop there. The moment you have property, okay, now you want to, let's say this is my property, this is my office. I want to change the apa ni cat apa paint lah. I want to change the paint color. Now all pink. Can I do that? Of course I can do that. This is my place. I want to make it open window. Okay. But now if you say I want to put camera, then you have to have a very clear apa ni? Terms. Yeah. Why do we have to have clear terms? Because the moment you put a camera, what it will do is it will collect pictures. Yeah. So the the consequence of installing camera is not the same as the consequence of changing the paint color. Yeah. When the moment you install camera, wherever it is, it has the effect of collecting pictures or capturing pictures. Capturing pictures in the eyes of PDP is equal to data processing. Capturing pictures means you process data. Oh, yes, but because I want to process the data of my employees. Yes, the moment you say you want to process data for the purpose of your work, yeah, then you have to be subject to the law. The law under PDPA, Section 6 says that You don't collect data for something which is excessive beyond your purpose. Which means that every activity of data collection, of data processing, you must clarify what is the purpose of it. Not only that, is that purpose directly related to the objective of the workplace? That will be the questions people will scrutinize when you have a camera. Okay, let's say I'm coming here to work. I'm under your monitoring. I'm reporting to you. Then why do you still need this camera? Why? The question will be asked, and maybe at the end it will say, maybe this camera is just for the purpose of, added security, or just for to ensure people are working. Now we have this issue. If there are other ways for you to ensure security without having to impose more data collection, then this camera installation will not be necessary. So my point here is that for employers who want to install cameras in their workplace, they must be sure of the necessity of that camera. Because if not, it can be challenged under the PDPA. Yeah. And number two, it has to be directly related with the purpose of the work. That's why you don't install camera in a common room. Kenapa? Common room is not for work. Your workers, they need rest. They need some place for eating lah, for some natural call and so on. You don't install camera in the toilet area. Yeah, because these are not directly related to the main works that they are supposed to do. Yeah, so that's why even though we say that installing camera is at the liberty of the owner of the place, still you will be subject to the PDPA. And remember, under PDPA also there is section 7 saying that you must notify. That's why you go to many places, you will see this place is under CCTV, because that will set the right expectation of people, because we respect them. If people say, oh, this place is under CCTV, then I must behave. Then I must be doing good. So we help them to set their expectation of privacy. Do they actually have privacy or not in that? So that's why in many places, people will put this place is under CCTV, and so on, to notify them, because it is part of the requirement under the PDPA. Yeah. So as I said, installing a camera in your place, you as a boss, yeah, you as an employer, installing camera is not like installing apa ni bendera, the jalur gemilang in places, because there is no privacy implication. It is not like changing the whole paint color, because there is no privacy implication. But the moment you put install camera, and then you in workplace you do this login system. Login system is another thing. Of course, login system is required, but then how you do that will have to be according to the rules. Yeah, it is directly related. It is not excessive. You have to notify, and so on and so forth. That's my comment for that.
All right, Dr. Thank you to Brother Ibrahim and also Ustaz Wansor for the question. Some related question for what you said, Doctor. There is question from Sister Oza Liati. Sometimes we want to monitor the behavior of our student at their student center. So we install CCTV at their venue. It is acceptable, right? Right.
Okay. First question need to be posed is it part of our job to monitor the student behavior? If it is yes, then let's do it. But if it is yes, there is actually a sub question. Who is to do that? Yeah, who is to do that? I think in the university environment, there are so many players. Yeah, we cannot simply say everyone can monitor. No, we should. In fact, as a matter of fact, we already have specific units or specific officers with that job, with that duty. So let them do their job. Meaning it is part of their job. Okay. The problem will start the moment that we allow just anybody to do that. Yeah, there is one issue. Another issue is that the moment you have it, you must notify the students, notify the people in that place that this area is under certain type of surveillance or certain type of monitoring. And not less important than that is what you do with the data and what you do with the captured video. That is very important. Who ensure the security of it? Please make sure it is not simply accessed by just anybody, but make sure it is secured and someone is in charge, yeah, for that particular safekeeping of the captured videos. Yeah, that's what I can say.
All right.
Still, the whole thing actually we are guided by the principles of the PDPA, yeah, section 5 until section 12. So all what I mentioned earlier, they are construed under these principles of data protection.
All right, Doctor. There is some question from the YouTube from Dr. Siti Zainab. Dr. Sani, can the employer track the information on how much time the employee spend on watching online movie, make advertisement about their business during working hours? Can the employer track the information on how much time the employee spend on watching online movie?
Right. The question is, can employer track? If you mean by
Okay, the question is, can the employer track such and such? If you ask the whether they are able to do that technologically and technically, I must say yes. Of course, there are ways. Yeah, there are ways, but it is not within my area to say how to do that. But there are ways technically that the employer can do that. But if the question is, and I think the question is about whether they can legally do that, yeah. Again, you must have a very clear purpose, yeah, of your data processing, because by doing tracking is actually you are processing the data. Processing data under PDPA includes anything, including collecting data. Yeah, the moment you do you are tracking the use of online platforms, the use of social media. You're actually collecting the data of the employees, yeah, in their activities in the workplace. The big question about it is that, is it something related uh, to the purpose of the work? Yeah, I'm not saying yes or no, but I think it is yes, because it is about what? It is about the productivity. Productivity is part of the what we are concerned with, what employers are so concerned with. And talking about productivity means you have some expected, yeah, behavior. For example, you work between certain time to certain time. You use the company resources uh, to the best use of for the company's interest. Those things I think are quite clear. And in order to avoid that, you can say, look, using the company resource and during company time, during working time for the private browsing should be minimized. I think many practices would say that rather than saying not allowed at all. If you say not allowed at all, it is not very thinkable. It should be minimized. Maybe you want to put some uh, limitations. In doing that, you can impose, yeah, the do's and the don'ts. Yeah, yeah, the do's and the don'ts. And I think in that situation, it is you if you ask can or cannot, I think legally it is possible. Yeah, as long as you have that purpose very clear and noticed and notified to the employees that we are going to do this during the work, and we will use the data for the purpose of, for example, evaluation, for the purpose of promotion, yeah, not for any other purpose. Yeah, we must be very careful. We collect those data, but then we use it for something beyond the work. That is wrong. That is where the discrimination can happen, abuse can happen, and in fact the company may be at the wrong end. So as long as you use it for your own purpose, that should be okay. So the clarity needs to be there. It should be put in your internal SOP. Yeah, and must again must be guided by the law. That's it.
All right, Doctor. In Zoom meeting, there is another 3 question, Doctor. I think it's become interesting. Okay, from Brother Ibrahim. Doctor, you mentioned something interesting just now. It is compulsory for premises to notify visitors that CCTV is being used. So the question is that compulsory?
Okay, when you say compulsory means is there a law saying that it is compulsory? Yeah. If you remember, the government in the past had mentioned about regulating CCTVs, which is under the PBT, under the some of the agencies lah. We are not talking about that, but here we are talking about camera which is used for data processing. Yeah, for data processing, because this is the principle. The moment you have a camera, that means you are collecting data. Yeah, if your camera is in the workplace, meaning you are collecting data in the commercial transaction. This falls under the scope of the PDPA. Yeah, the installation or the use of camera in the workplace falls under the PDPA, being that there is a data processing in a commercial transaction. Yeah, if it is in a government building, it is beyond PDPA because the government is not subject to the PDPA. So what does PDPA say about data processing? You must follow all these 7 principles. Yeah, it doesn't really say specifically about CCTV whatnot. But the moment you have CCTV, there are few questions. Number one, what is the purpose of you using CCTV? That must be very clear, and it must be directly related, yeah, to the business or to the work that you have. Secondly, you must notify. You must notify. Yeah, there is a clear notice and choice principle. You must notify the processing itself. For example, you must inform your employees how the employer collect the data about you. Yeah, for example, by filling up forms, by internet activities, or by collecting data from other places, including the CCTV. Because by CCTV meaning the employer are collecting the data about your movement, about your entrance, and about your leaving, about your interaction, yeah, and so on and so forth. So CCTV is part of that. Yeah, it is part of that. Therefore, it has to be notified. So the practice now is, yeah, the employer will put that in the privacy policy. Number one, that we are collecting the data of our employees' work by installing our camera in some places for the purpose of apa? Yeah, for the purpose of productivity and so on and so forth. Secondly, you must notify where, yeah, this area, and then the best way to do that is by putting the uh, notice, yeah, notice, sign that this place is under the monitoring of the under monitoring of CCTV or camera or whatnot. Yeah, that is the best practice. Yeah, but the principle of notification is there under Section 7, yeah, of the PDPA 2010. All right.
All right, Doctor. Another question is from Dr. Samiullah. Can we share webinar link to other university friends like today, your session?
Yeah. You actually will see whether certain event is meant to be internal or certain event meant to be public. The moment if, for example, your colleague inviting you, let's have a meeting in the kuliah, and this is the link of the meeting, then you know actually this link is not supposed to be shared to others. But the moment there is an event and you can see that the organizer actually has put it in such a place which is accessible to public, such as YouTube, what to do, what to expect then? Meaning this event is actually for public purpose. Yeah, you can actually read from that indications. Otherwise, if you are not sure, then you contact the organizer or you check any of the terms of any event. This is actually, I think, an important question because some of the meetings are indeed internal. Some of the meeting link is indeed limited. Yeah, only people who are involved, yeah, will have an access to it. So it should not be given out. The moment you give out, then it can lead to some legal problems. Yeah. Okay. Is there any other?
Okay, I think the last question from Ustaz Wan Suhur. Boleh tak larang pelajar record lecture dalam kelas atau itu hak mereka belajar?
Okay, interesting. Larang, okay. Guna record, ya. Normally, in the past, students will never do that without getting permission from the lecturers, yeah. And that is the best practice lah. So I think we should create that same environment even today. Whenever a student wishes to record sound recording or even video recording, it has to be by permission of the lecturers. I think that is the best way. The one which is in line with the akhlaq, that we want to inculcate to our students. Yeah. But if let's say someone happens to take the video out of our out of our knowledge, certainly then we cannot do much about it. But whether or not we can stop him spreading that, that depends on I think on many things. Yeah. First, on the content itself. Is it something which is supposed to be limited? Or is it something about intellectual property? Yeah, because you talk about spreading classes, it may affect the intellectual property of the lecturers. Or is it something sensitive, for example? Especially we in university, we must say that some things which are sensitive outside, but we discuss it inside the class, isn't it? We do that, especially those from political science, legal studies. We talk about sensitive things inside the class, but we don't talk about this outside. And students need to know there are things which are supposed to be for internal or limited consumption. So the moment this thing happens, certainly university or others, even the lecturer, can be put under the bad lights of the public, and that can be a problem. So the best way to do it is we must have some common understanding, especially for our students. I think they need to be educated also what to do and what not to do when it comes to this recording. As for me personally, and most of my videos are being recorded, I'm having no problem because the content itself, I have no issue. I mean, it is something which is worthy to be shared. I would be fine. But of course, when the moment it is more sensitive, I will have a different response to that. So I think the best way to do this, maybe we should work more to educate ourselves, educate our students, and what not to do. As including in this situation, there should be some permission, some collective understanding between the student and the student.
All right, thank you, Doctor. There's some question, but due to the time constraint, we apologize to the participant. So we are about to end of our program today, Doctor. So we extend our sincere gratitude to Associate Professor Dr. Soni for sharing his invaluable insight and experience. So this opportunity to enhance our knowledge and promote good governance, integrity, and also good values within IIUM is highly appreciated, Doctor. So, last reminder to all participants, I would like to remind you all to complete the evaluation form within 24 hours after this end of work program. So, we also would like to express our thanks to all participants in this program. So, let's end this program with Tasbih Kifarah and also Surah Al-As. All right. Thank you all. Thank you for the participants. See you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Kusudi,